Echo, turn on waterfall.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Scott and welcome to DIY Motto. Before we get into this waterfall project, there were some major considerations to take. Mainly this involves electrical, framing, some drywall rework, fabricating components, and certainly assumed risk due to potential water damage, insurance coverage, maintenance of the waterfall, and the overall difficulty level of this project. So we got the idea from our local mall. They had a water feature in the main court area, and we always thought it was relaxing listening to the waterfall. Two key points we reviewed before starting this waterfall project is A, the wall is framed with 2x6 studs. This gave us the width needed. And B, this was not a supporting wall, since we needed to cut out a large section. With the waterproof version of the LED strip light kit on Amazon, you can change the color to suit the holidays: orange for Halloween, red or green for Christmas. Walking in from the foyer, we like the open design of the waterfall, versus many we've seen with the glass panel or panels the water runs down. However, this looks and sounds like rain. We did a lot of testing as the water needs to cling to the line without falling off. No luck to free fall the water straight down, hence the company sells a stainless steel manifold with mylar lace. However, it's costly and this is a DIY project. So we tried fishing line since it's transparent and fairly cheap. In the end, we used Red Wolf 50-pound test line from Walmart. Every line doubled as the water wouldn't stick to a single line. Alright, to run through some pictures of the install, first I made a box with a removable side, glued up a PVC header made from 3/4 inch Schedule 40, drilled 52 holes a ½ inch apart, and installed the header. The waterproof LED strip lights get installed with the IR sensor visible. Once the hole was cut in the wall and 2x6 studs reworked to fit, I installed a plywood box lined with outdoor pond liner and ran a ½ inch rubber tube from the top of this reservoir box to the upper header. This is the motor and speed controller kit I bought on Amazon. It's 3-phase brushless, has a ceramic rotor, built-in soft start, and can vary the speed with the potentiometer. The motor is submersible, but the speed controller is not, so wires have to be extended from the motor to the speed controller, wherever the speed controller will be located. For me, this was the basement, so I extended the wires long enough to run through the cold air return into the basement where I will locate the panel. Now for the fun part, and I couldn't be more sarcastic if I tried. We ran 2 runs of fishing line up through the bottom PVC, held in place on the sides with matching 52 holes, to the top, then back down over and over. The hardest parts were getting the line in and out of the holes, which we used a little metal hook for, and also not getting the line all tangled up. Once run, we pulled each line to put tension on it, as it must be fairly tight. This will cause the bottom PVC to bend up, but it's not visible anyway. For capping the water reservoir, I cut 2 pieces of plywood into a C shape, wrapped them in pool liner, and mounted some black aluminum flashing in the middle to keep the rocks from falling in. I spaced the aluminum with a small gap to the plywood at the tip of the red arrow, so any water drops that fell onto the rocks could flow back into the tank. For the final assembly of the waterfall, we purchased some driftwood from our local Home Depot. The side pieces were channeled out in order to cap the drywall edges. The upper and lower pieces were fastened with screws from the inside out for a clean look. Wherever the panel box is mounted, 5 wires are needed, 2 for the LED light power and 3 for the 3-phase brushless motor. I mounted a panel box on the wall in our utility room and ran the 5-conductor cable into it. The LED power supply gets wired along with the 3 wires from the speed controller going to the motor. I wanted to use a smart switch in order to set a schedule for the waterfall and perform automated tasks like turning it off automatically when I armed the alarm system. I also wanted to have a battery backup so any small hydro outages don't affect the waterfall. This means the battery backup must power the smart switch, and the smart switch powers 2 power supplies, one for the LED light and one for the speed controller. I cut holes in the box for the switch, potentiometer, and cables. I used some finger-safe terminal strips to wire a plug onto the smart switch and wire the smart switch load wire to 2 power supply plugs. Here's a picture of the brushless motor assembly. The motor itself is very well built. The fins are plastic. The rotor is made out of a ceramic material. It's very easy to take apart and clean if necessary. There's a small O-ring between the cap and the motor base, and since there's no brushes, it's easy to replace parts or clean if needed. You can buy a spare parts kit, which comes with a rotor, an O-ring, and some hardware. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.